Okay, so I gotta say, this game is great. It's fun. It's awesome. It's everything that I imagined that it was gonna be and hoped that it was gonna be. But this hunt is absolute bullshit. And this is coming from a perspective of somebody who doesn't have decent enough internet to go on and play with three other players to make it a little bit easier. So, in this run of Nergigante, I played pretty much flawlessly. I didn't get carded a single time, and I still timed out. And just for reference, this is like my 31st attempt at this hunt. It's fucking ridiculous, and I'm a little upset about it because I'm a completionist and I'm missing out on these items because I'm not a pro gamer or a pro monster hunter, or I don't have good enough internet to fucking cheese the game. And I don't know what they were thinking when they released this monster for the third DLC or for the third beta, but it's too fucking hard for single player. It's too fucking hard. I mean, see, I stun him twice. I get in a lot of good hits. I use resources like crazy, and I still can't fucking do it. So I've pretty much reserved myself to giving up at this point because it's just too fucking hard for me. I'm This is pretty much my first touch on the series. I played one quest on Monster Hunter World Ultimate. So I have no fucking idea what I'm doing when it comes to this game. And I like to think that I picked it up pretty fast, especially considering I took down Anjanath the other day within like 6 or 7 minutes with the insect glaive. So I like to think that I'm at least pretty fucking decent at this game. And here I am wailing at a monster for 15 minutes, which that's another thing I want to fucking talk about. The rest of the hunts give you 20 minutes to complete it. This hunt gives you 15. It also gives you 4 carts before you fail, which is down from the 9 of the other hunts. I mean, they just did everything in their power to make this impossible for single players and force you to play multiplayer, which I can't do. I live in a rural area, my internet is shit, and it's the best internet that I can get. I just don't. It's really taken a shot at my enthusiasm for this game and my excitement for it, which is sad because I'm still excited for it, but I was really, really excited for it. I was more excited for it than Dragon Ball Fighters, which, if anybody who knows me knows that I am a huge Dragon Ball fan, and a true Dragon Ball fighting game for the first time in 20 years, that was huge news to me. And I was more excited about about Monster Hunter World than I was about that. So, I mean, it would be one thing entirely if they allowed you to craft or upgrade your weapons and armor in some facet, but instead they've completely disabled that option and forced you to use this fucking low to mid level gear against a high level elder dragon. And I mean, 31 attempts. It's never taken me 31 attempts to finish something in a video game. And I've beaten all of the Dark Souls games and their DLCs. Not once did I spend 31 fucking attempts trying to beat a boss or trying to get through an area. And that's Dark Souls, people. It's ridiculous. I mean, you can't see it in this footage. Well, I guess you can because he lands his spine attacks on me a couple times. You can see how much fucking damage it does. But if he lands his gliding attack at you, it's killed me in one shot more times than I care to fucking count. And that's unfair. Especially because you can't fucking avoid it properly. I mean, sure, I could switch to a weapon where I can guard and make that portion a little bit easier, but then I can't deal enough fucking damage to actually take the guy out. I tried it with a great sword, and I got knocked out twice, and I timed out 3 times. I tried it with the insect glaive. I timed out 3 times. And every other attempt has been with the longsword because that's the closest that I can get to fucking killing him. Which, on that note, that's probably my favorite weapon in the game now. I thought I was gonna really, really like the insect glaive, just because it's like flashy and cool, and you can do a lot of jumpy stuff. And I love the the kinsect features of it, where you have to absorb the I can't think of the word. The extracts from the monsters to improve your skills with the insect glaive. That's a cool feature. But the longsword is like my weapon. It's so freaking cool. Um the spirit slash combo is pretty powerful, and it ignores enemy hard points. um and then the helm splitter is just a really powerful and awesome attack that can um stun monsters for long periods of time. So it's a really cool weapon, and I can thank Nergigante for showing me that because of how much fucking time I've spent with this weapon. Thanks to him. I mean, 31 attempts at 15 minutes per attempt. You do the math. How long I've spent trying to kill this asshole. But I mean, other than that, I'm really excited about this game. But the fact that I have to miss out on those items because I'm not good enough and I'm not competent enough to know the little tricks and gimmicks of this game, and the major hunts like this, and the fact that I can't play online with people who know what the fuck they're doing, or even with somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. I'm pretty sure we could take him out because we could just lay the heat on him so much that he's just taking constant damage. And that's flawed game design. If you can't incorporate a monster into a beta that is plausible to defeat both single player and multiplayer, that's a pretty bad sign for what's coming in the official game. That's probably too harsh. It's going to be an amazing game. I know it, but I was really hoping that it was going to be a challenge, and they sure fucking presented on that, didn't they? I didn't think it was gonna be this goddamn ridiculous because it's insane. 31 attempts, and they all look pretty similar to this attempt right here, except I didn't have to fucking run around leveling up my scout flies to find the Nergigante again in the other fucking attempts. But I mean, here in a few, you'll see he'll start limping, and then I'll be down to 5 minutes. I'm probably down to 5 minutes already, actually. And I'll fucking chase him. I'll get some good hits in. I'll do great, and then I'll just time out every time. I just don't get what. It's really stressful as a hardcore fan of video games for a game to give you a challenge that is so one-sided and unfair that it's almost impossible to undertake. I mean, look at this. Down to the line and he's finally limping. 5 minutes left and he's finally limping. As a gamer, it's really hard to accept that you're not able to complete a task that the game's asking of you. And I get that this is just the beta, and the official game is going to be a lot different, and it's going to be, you can create your character how you want, and you can upgrade him. You put in the time, you can upgrade him to handle monsters like this no problem. So yeah, it's just a beta, but I have to miss out on an entire collection of items because this isn't possible for me. I tried using the ranged weapons. A lot of people have told me use the light bowgun, use the heavy bowgun, use the gun lance. I've tried using ranged weapons. I just don't get it. I don't like the gun lance, and I'm not good with the ranged weapons. So maybe that's my fault for not taking the time to get to know the other weapons. I mean, I'm a beginner in the game, and I've learned three of the weapon types pretty damn well. So that's that's saying something. It was kind of funny to go back and fight Anjanath though after dealing with this asshole because he was like nothing. And my first time fighting him, he carded me like 3 times and then I timed out. And I thought that he was just like insanely tough and I was never going to be able to beat him. And then my second time or my second attempt on it, it was pretty close, but I took him out. And I was like, "Oh, all right, that's a cool challenge, it's pretty tough." And then I go back and fight him after fucking 20 attempts of this guy, and he felt like nothing. And that's going to be a cool mechanic to the game is, trying out different play styles and fighting all these monsters that you think are so freaking tough, and then you fight something that's just so insane that you look back and you're like, you know what? That monster was nothing. Like I was stupid for not being able to do that easier. But monsters like Nergigante is just, it's too much. So that's really all I got. Later.
control.